Hello everyone, welcome back to Rosamund's Mandarin Garden. I'm willing to bet that one of the very first phrases you learned in Chinese was 你好, 你好, hello, right? It seems simple enough. 你 means you and 好 means good. But here's something that may surprise most foreign learners. In everyday Chinese, we actually don't use the word 你 as often as you might expect. In English, addressing people is very direct and relatively egalitarian. Whether you are talking to friends, colleagues, your boss, or family members, you can comfortably call them by their name or simply use the word you. But in Chinese, you have to be careful. We only use 你 for peers, friends, younger people, or casual daily life. Addressing someone directly as you can sometimes sound rude, blunt, or emotionally distant. Instead, we say things like 妈妈吃饭了吗？妈妈吃饭了吗？王老师什么时候回来？王老师什么时候回来？李总今天忙不忙？李总今天忙不忙？小王帮我看一下这个文件。小王帮我看一下这个文件。Can you catch the difference? These sentences are phrased in the third person, but they actually mean exactly have you eaten? When are you coming back? Are you busy? Can you look at this? Why on earth would the language have a perfectly good second person pronoun and then actively try to avoid using it? In today's episode, let's dive deep into this topic and let me show you how we address each other in China to sound polite and natural. As we've discussed before, Chinese is a language that naturally loves to omit subjects. If the listener already knows who is performing an action, there is no need to state the subject explicitly. It's a matter of linguistic efficiency. Since we are talking face to face, you already know I'm the one speaking, so I can drop the first person pronoun I, 我. Similarly, since I'm looking right at you, I don't need to constantly repeat the words you, 你. Over time, something interesting happened. What began as a grammatical habit gradually evolved into a social habit and eventually a core culture value. Omitting I became a way to show humility, while omitting you became a subtle way of showing respect. Why? What's the reasoning behind it? In traditional Chinese culture, deliberately highlighting or promoting yourself is seen as arrogant and ill-mannered. The golden rule of traditional Chinese social etiquette can be summarized as elevate others and humble yourself. This is why classical Chinese is packed with respectful and humble terms. For example, to refer to oneself, people use terms like 在下,鄙人,犬子,小女. All of these prefixes, low, unpolished, small, humble, dog, were used to lower one's own status. Conversely, to address others, terms like 尊驾, 令郎, 令尊, 贵妇 were used to elevate the speaker's counterparts. While most of these historical expressions have disappeared into period dramas and classical literature, the underlying mindset never truly vanished. Furthermore, we view human identity differently in China. In many modern Western societies, individual identity tends to be emphasized more strongly, but in ancient China, your identity was defined by your position. You were not viewed as a totally detached, independent individual first. You were first someone's father, someone's daughter, someone's teacher, someone's student. Identity was closely connected to social roles. This way of thinking still influences modern Chinese today. So if we are not supposed to use 你, how should you actually address people in real life? I have summarized the 4 most practical, safest, and most authentic ways for you to use. First, the age-based prefix 小, 老 plus last name. This is a quick way to create familiarity and establish social positioning within a group. It's used mostly among friends, acquaintances, or colleagues. For someone younger or less experienced than you, use 小 plus last name. For someone older or more senior than you, use 老 plus last name. If you are not close to the person yet, or if you need to maintain a strict professional distance, do not use this. It can sound overly familiar or slightly presumptuous. 老张最近身体怎么样？老张最近身体怎么样？小王把这个文件打印一下。小王把这个文件打印一下。Last name plus job title. This is by far the most common and the safest way to address people in Chinese professional settings. Common titles include 教师或者教育工作者用老师，技术人员用工程师，张工、李工，老板、企业或者团队管理者，张总、李总，手工艺者或者工人、劳动者，可以说师傅、师傅。In Chinese, there are two words pronounced 师傅 that sound identical but are written with different characters. One is 师傅, which refers to skilled technical workers. The other is 师傅, where the second character literally means father. In traditional culture, there is a famous saying, 一日为师，终身为父. If you formally apprentice under a master who teaches you a lifelong craft and guides your character, you respect them as a father. This is still heavily practiced in fields like martial arts or traditional Chinese opera. Or what if we are dealing with a complete stranger whose name and job title you have no clue about? The most natural solution for a Chinese speaker is to borrow family terms. 哥哥、姐姐、叔叔、阿姨. The psychological subtext here is beautiful. We might be strangers, but let me temporarily place you in a warm, safe spot within my family structure before we talk. It helps reduce social distance. For example, when asking for direction on the street. 大哥，请问地铁站怎么走？大哥，请问地铁站怎么走？阿姨，请问售票窗口在哪儿？阿姨，请问售票窗口在哪儿？ Be careful when addressing women. If you call a young woman 阿姨 or 大姐, she might get upset because of the age implication. To stay safe, use terms like 小姐 for younger women, or 女士 in formal settings. If all of the above options sound way too complicated, just use the ultimate respectful version of you, 您. It carries no specific social identity or age baggage. We use it for elders, clients, people of higher status, someone we are meeting for the first time, or informal business settings. While ancient people used complex words to mark class, modern Chinese has streamlined it into 小张, 李总, 您, but the core essence remains unchanged. I see who you are and respect our relationship. That concludes today's lesson. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Your support means a lot to me. I'll see you next time. Bye. Bye.